with another video. Before we get into the video, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And JT just won't let up. I pray for Cardi B because when JT released her diss track, it might be lethal. But I think JT got to stop being Twitter fingers. But anyway, JT still continues to tweet and drag Cardi B. And she said, allegedly, but your fave should have actually got one. Nigga staying having her ass crying like she's at a funeral. I'm seated for the spaces about the new baby daddy walkie-talkie coochie. Did she say walkie-talkie coochie? Oh my goodness. Then a fan said, oh my goodness, girl, it's been like 3 days now. And she said it's going to be 3 years. Buckle up. Now, to me, I don't feel like JT's in the wrong for dragging Cardi B because Cardi B always comes after Lil Uzi and JT. And Lil Uzi, he don't really bother nobody. Like, I've never really heard him diss any of the female rappers. He's not messy like Young Thug. He don't really bother nobody, but you calling him gay and all this stuff. Meanwhile, your man has an SA case. Okay, so it's like the pot calling the kettle black. It just doesn't make logical sense for you to talk about another man's sexuality when look at what your man is doing and everybody knows about it. But I do think that JT should probably release a song. You know, this is the most attention you're going to get. You should release a song. You should have released one a few days ago. Instead of going on Twitter and going back and forth and dissing Cardi B fans and calling them ugly, you should have done that on a record because you're going to lose the momentum. The momentum is now. Bia is smart. See, Bia is dropping on Cardi B's birthday and she is going to respond to Cardi B on her album. JT, that's one thing I don't like about JT is that she do a lot of the internet antics and you can't do that when you're dealing with somebody with Cardi B. And the thing is, Cardi B is very insecure when it comes to her physical appearance. So you can take that angle. You know, you can talk about how her ass is lopsided. You can talk about, you know, how her face has changed multiple times. You can talk about that and how her man like Badussy. But do it in a record and you would get a lot of attention for it because people are going to respect that you responded considering she just put out a diss track against you. So, you know, I feel like you're doing it the wrong way. And I don't want to hear, oh, you know, she's dropping the song soon. No, she should have been dropped it, bruh. It's been like almost a week. She should have been dropped it. Okay, this is the most attention she's gotten. She should have been dropped it. Now, moving on to Big Doja. She released her new album, VIE, okay? Now, I did have to deduct some points because of the terrible art cover. But overall, I think that this album is pretty solid. Do I think that this album is better than Planet Her? No. Okay? I don't even know if it's better than Hot Pink. I don't know about that. But it's definitely better than Scarlet. I'll give her that. I'll give her that it's better than Scarlet, but I don't think that it's better than Planet Her and Hot Pink. Now, I liked a lot of the songs. I probably liked at least 9 or 10 of the songs out of 15. You know, the album's not really that long. But one thing that I do notice about Doja Cat is that a lot of her music don't have any substance. She went through 2 breakups since Scarlet. You know, she was dating that racist white guy. What was his name? Jay Cyrus. Okay. And then she also was dating that guy from Stranger Things. Okay. Whether it was a fling or not, I expected her to kind of talk about those breakups in the album. So that is one of my critiques. I feel like she kind of, I get it, like a lot of artists may not like to talk about their personal lives, but I just feel like a lot of her music lacks substance, and it's because she don't really dive into what's really going on with her, okay? I don't know if it's because she doesn't want to be in depth with her fans. She doesn't want to showcase vulnerability, but I feel like she should have talked about the fact that Her and Jay Cyrus, the racist, did not work out even after they was in the racist right chat rooms. And then also the fact that she got pumped and dumped by Joseph Quinn. Okay? I don't know if that was like a friends with benefits type of thing, but I feel like, you got to showcase some vulnerability in your record. You're 30 years of age, okay? Doja Cat is 30 or 29, whatever. I feel like Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Beyonce, SZA, they've all talked about breakups and heartbreak in their music. And I feel like Doja Cat, she never really gets that vulnerable. And it's just like a whole bunch of nothing when she be singing and rapping. Is a whole bunch of nothing. Okay, I'm like, is she ever gonna really open up to the fans? That's my thing with Doja. That's my biggest critique about her. She lacks substance. A lot of her music don't have any type of substance. And it just sounds like she be going into the studio like, I want my album to sound like this. Okay, this is the type of music. I want to make a pop rap type of song so it can chart high. That's what it was given to me. It's given on this album. I didn't have the chart success that I had for Scarlet. I want that era back. For what I had with Planet Her. Okay? But I did like most of the songs. I liked Cards. I think Cards is a phenomenal record. I like Lip Stain. Lip Stain is a boppity bop. To be quite honest, I wasn't crazy about the SZA collaboration. Take Me Dancing was okay. Not really on the top of the top list of my faves. But I think the record's okay. Definitely gonna do well on radio. Now, I did like the gorgeous music video. I thought that, music video was pretty fire. She had a bunch of models in the music video. And allegedly she had her mom in the music video. That's what they're saying. I think it also was reported that she's the only writer on her album for all 15 songs. So that's something I can kind of respect. Even though I don't feel like her music has a lot of substance. And she's also not selling her album for $4. So that's something else I could respect. I'll give Doja Cat her 7. Now, moving on to Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj put out a countdown on Instagram. 6 months until her next album. Let me know how y'all feel about it. And then she also confirmed with Billboard that her album will be coming out next year. Now, I don't know. I feel like Nicki's doing an old trickety trick. I'm sorry. I need to have a single to be released for me to believe it. Other than that, I think it's cappity cap. The reason why is because I feel like Nicki announcing her move so early on, that's something that Nicki Minaj usually don't do. And usually even when she announced a date, she'll change it, all the time. She did that with the Queen album. She did that with, the last album, Pink Friday 2. I feel like she's not gonna announce 6 months before that her album is coming out to let the op sabotage. It just wouldn't logically make sense. Okay? But some fans are saying that she's doing that because she wants to see if Billboard is going to change the rules. Cardi B's been selling her album the same price as a toothbrush, okay? She's been doing $3.99, $2.99, $4 for her album, and Billboard, the rule is you can't do that, but they might let it slide for Cardi B because she got Titanic Records, and they might want her to outsell Nicki Minaj. So, maybe this is a little bit of a tactic to see if they're going to change the rules before Nicki Minaj puts out her album. All I know is we need a budget, Republic, okay? Because if Republic don't give Nicki Minaj a budget and a real push this era, they will be receiving 5 million lashings, okay? It's unacceptable. We need, definitely billboards. I want music videos. I don't care if you guys don't want music videos. We need at least one, okay? She hasn't done one since Super Freaky Girl. We need at least one music video. We need Law Roach. Okay, I think he'd definitely be a fabulous stylist. And I don't want Champagne Thickums, Thugger, Wayne near the album. No shade. I like Wayne, but we don't need any more. And there's no shade. but we don't need any more Young Money collaborations. Now, Cardi B continued to cheat as she decided to exclusively put out another version of her album, Am I Ugly, where she put money, please me, press, bongos, and like what and enough on the album, totaling 30 songs to try to increase her first week sales. So let me know how y'all feel about that. I think she's trying to surpass Pink Friday 2, and I think that's her plan. Her plan is to beat Nicki Minaj. She also previewed some weak diss track. A lot of fans are saying that she's throwing shade at JT or Nicki Minaj.
Still hating. Heard you gon' do something to me, I'm still waiting. First thing first, hold know your part. Act like an old ass whip and don't start. I'm cold-blooded, must be all of this chrome heart. I can't wait to run into you hoes like go-karts. Urban.
Now, let me know how y'all like that snippet. I think that shit was trash. Oh my goodness. I honestly can't believe Cardi B is a rapper because she's probably one of the least talented people on earth. I'm not even talking about just in rap in general. I'm like, that shit was garbage. But people will eat that up. People like, it's not even ABCD rhymes. This is like literally preschool. She literally sounds like she's in special ed. Like she literally sounds like she takes the short bus to school. She sounds very slow. I don't understand how people like her music. I don't think JT and Nicki Minaj have anything to worry about if she's throwing shade because this was absolute garbage in my opinion. Now moving on from that, Tasha K has released some text messages from one of Stefan Diddy's side pieces or former girlfriend. Her name is Sky. Very pretty woman, but she sent some text messages to Tasha K exposing the fact that she has done some kinky stuff with Stefan Diddy in the bedroom. I'm like, wow, he's really Diddy Jr. So in these text messages, she's saying, nah, it should have been replaced when you wanted to put your hands on me in that house. Okay, so we got Stefan Diddy turning into Ike. And then she said because of her, and then she stole my ish. Ask the camera outside when your little boyfriend threw me to the ground. Damn. So he and his boyfriend put hands on this woman, allegedly. Then she says, nope, I can take a lie detector test when he accuses her of lying. And she also said, like my fists weren't up your ass. I keep receipts. And then he offers her money. So this is why I believe that he be into some kinky stuff. Okay? Because why are you trying to offer money? He said, if this is all for money, Sky, all you have to do is ask. Interesting. So now you're trying to pay her off so she don't throw you under the bus, Stefan Diddy. Okay, so I got to give him 100,000 lashes. You in the closet. Cardi B is delusional, but I'm not shocked. You talking about little Uzi, but your man getting women's fists up his badussi. Wow. I can only imagine what he got Cardi B doing. I can only imagine. She probably drinking, slurping up pee. Just like Carisha. Pissy face, Balcalise. Now, Cardi B was also on Young Thug's album, okay, which I did not listen to because I don't listen to Bottom Bussy Thug. I never liked him, never will. Okay, be Team Gunna over here, no shade. And with that being said, a lot of fans are speculating that she was throwing some shade at Nicki Minaj, okay, and Kenny. Now, in the record, Partisan Fontaine wrote, and Cardi B recited, how you laughing when I heard you get beat on? Gotta pay your nigga way every trip y'all be on, okay? So a lot of people are saying that this is shade towards Nicki Minaj because she's with Kenneth Petty, and basically Cardi B is trying to call Kenneth Petty broke. Okay? Now, if y'all was on my Patreon, y'all would know the tea on Thug and Nicki Minaj. That's on Patreon. I just dropped that. But in regards to these disses, I don't really feel like they hit, in my opinion. You talk about Nicki Minaj gotta pay. You gotta pay alimony. Okay? Often she has been taking you to court to squabble every penny you got. And best believe you're gonna have to give up a coin. And then STEF0N Diddy is beating on other men who don't sleep with him. So I just feel like these shots, they don't really stick, in my opinion. I just feel like they don't really stick. They don't really hit. And I feel like she's just constantly trying to get a rise out of Nicki Minaj. She wants Nicki Minaj's attention. But I think Nicki should continue to pay her dust until the album drops. But I refuse to give Thug any type of stream. I would never buy vinyl. No, there is people saying that Barbs were buying Young Thug's vinyls and stuff like that. I would never give Thug any money. Okay, he needs to go back to jail. That's where he belongs. He do not belong, on the street with regular civilians. I do think that him and his gang needs to go back to jail. And I do believe that eventually he will. I don't think that he can stay far away from the streets. But I would never, ever stream anything in regards to Thug. I always thought he was trash. Thankfully, he collaborated with Cardi B, so Nicki Minaj probably won't give him the time of day anymore. Even though I don't think she cares about him working with Cardi B, I don't think she probably respects it, though. I don't think she necessarily cares, but I don't think that she respects it, especially all the collaborations that Nicki Minaj has given to Thug, even though he was beefing with Wayne. And then you let this uneducated bozo, with a botched face and terrible BBL that's selling $4 albums, diss me on a record. I definitely would not be giving you the time of day no more. So I definitely think that Nicki probably after this, especially since she was throwing shots, I don't think Nicki gonna really give a F about Thug anymore, even though she was on his album when he was in jail. She was nice enough to be on his album while he was begging for Kendrick Lamar. I think Nicki needs to really pay these niggas dust, okay? But I don't think that this is going to get a rise out of Nicki Minaj like Cardi B thinks it is, because at the end of the day, Nicki Minaj knows how the industry works. She knows that there's snakes in the camp, okay? And I think that she's allowing all the snakes to come out before the era starts. And Thug, you made your bed, you gotta lay in it. Now, moving on to No Spice. She put out a song called Baddie Baddie, and I thought it was trashy. Okay, I thought it was garbage. The only thing saving this record is obviously the sample by MIA. And I feel like, in my opinion, Ice Spice hasn't grown as an artist. I know she came in the game in 2022, but I just feel like she do the same type of lyrics, tutti, booty, poopy, movie, booty. Like, she do the same type of lyrics, cadence. It's just getting boring at this point. And the only thing saving the record is the sample. But without the sample, the song is trash. Okay? And I just don't think Ice Spice is going to last in the game. That's why her and Scratch Off flop. The problem is that these female rappers don't want to evolve. They don't want to grow as an artist. And I think Ice Spice got to do something different, because I'm tired of the jaddy, poopy, dookie, shitty, pity type of records. We got to stop that. Okay? So I'm going to give this a negative 100. No shade. I will never listen to this record again. I know y'all going to eat it up. But unfortunately for me, I'm not easily impressed. Now, moving on to the Queen of Christmas. She put out her album, unfortunately, which I definitely did not enjoy. Is it just me? But doesn't Mariah sound a little bit weird on this album? It don't sound as clean, or I don't know. It sounds like her voice is strained. Don't it sound like that, or is it just me? I was like, who mixed and mastered this album? Because it sounds a mess. Like, I feel like her voice don't sound smooth on the record. Her voice sounds strained. Like almost like she about to lose her voice. That's what it sounds like to me on most of these songs. I don't even have a favorite. I was like, it sounds like she's so close to losing her voice. Her voice sounds strained. A lot of the songs I didn't care for are very boring. And I think, no shade of Mariah, but she just needs to hang it up. Don't pop out unless it's November 31st. No shade. Do not pop out unless it's November 31st so you can sing All I Want for Christmas. Not live, because you can't sing live at all. But don't come out until it's Christmas time. No shade to Mariah. But the secular music thing is over. It's over. It's done for, because I just feel like you can't sing like you used to. And it's no shade. But I can clearly hear your voice has changed. And you might as well just hang it up before it starts cracking and stuff, because it sounds like you're about to lose your voice. And this is not even me hating. I'm literally listening to it like, don't her voice sound weird? Like, I don't know. Maybe she got to get a vocal coach or something. But I feel like if you're going to sing on a record, it needs to sound smooth. You can't sound like you're about to lose your voice in a song. I just don't feel like that's professional. You would never hear Beyonce do no stuff like that. Beyonce, if her voice is strange, she not putting out an album, or she gonna use AI. She could at least done that. At least use AI, please. So I'm be honest with you, this album was a chop, and there's no shade to Mariah. I still respect her as an artist. She's still a legend in the game, but I just feel like she needs to hang up the music career. But anyway, I got some very hot tea on David the Singer on Patreon and Sydney Sweeney. Link will be in the description. I hope you have a great day.